Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay, not bad. We had a friend yesterday come. He was gonna drop off. Well, he had a great big trailer that dumps and a dump truck, and he didn't pull in where Doug told him to, and he hit like the only spring on our bottom of our property by the driveway. I mean, we have other ones around, but if he would have done what Doug had said, but it was good seeing him because he's still on the verge of almost dying. Um, he's on a liver transplant list, and he's got like stitches from one end of his body all the way up to the other side across from his heart, from what Doug was saying. And he's told me they put stents in there to drain it and that type of thing. I told him, well, my son is lucky because he gets in trouble and he was in a halfway house and he's going through the same type, or was, liver damage. And he had a pill that was administered to him that he got on a list. He had to stay like sober for a year or something to get on this list, or to get this medication that would have cost $20,000 if he hadn't have been in that halfway house. And some people that there went to bat for him. So, but yeah, I told this friend of ours, I had prayed for him and he thanked me because when you're that close to death, it is very scary. And the last time I had seen him, it was like right after my stroke, and I had just, well, like about a year, and I had gone down to Texas, and I had just got back, and he's gonna come in. And there's times when, like I even helped watch his kids or something, and him and Doug would have a beer and whatever. So I mean, I knew them quite well, is what I'm saying. But that day in particular, and even some kind of bad times, but even with that, that wasn't. But I told him that day, I go, I don't want any company. If you want to talk to Doug, you're going to have to go out into his shop. I just put my foot down. It's like, nope, not doing it. So that's the last time I had seen this guy, and it's been, oh, maybe like 8 years, or 7 or 8 years, somewhere around in there. And I asked him how his kids are doing. The one's got a Corvette and a bike, and his daughter's going to the U of M. And it's like, oh, whoa. He's a proud dad. But it's just funny, somebody I considered a kid, his kids are now grown, and he is looking older. But, we all get there, but yeah. But anyway, so they brought a bobcat cat up this morning and got their well, dumped the one dump truck and got the some dirt out of the one trailer that was stuck in a spring, and then filled it back in and everything after they got it over the hill. And it's nice black dirt. It's like just really, it'll make good land. So out behind Doug's shop, he needs more area to put his metal pieces, like he's got hoods to things and different pieces of sheet metal that he'll keep so he can patch something else or make something. That's what he does. He fabricates metal and stuff. And we both know how to weld, and I know how to use cutting torches and grinders and welding. We've got a wire feed and an arc welder. So yeah, and a plasma cutter. Those are cool. you know. So it's not giant, but it works well. And sandblaster, and just the things, the implements of destruction. No, that's what um something. Oh yeah, I called Doug this morning something, and he was using his dark sense of humor, just like I was telling you about. And I go, there's like Bob the Builder and Doug the Destroyer. He said destroyer. I said Doug the something. It with a D anyway. Oh, I'll remember it. Just a minute. I'll Demolisher or something like that. Then I got to thinking, why is everything like destroy her? There's what else? There was all kind. Oh, just a sec. I dropped my cigarette. Um, was like catch her. Um, oh, there were. I was like thinking. I thought of all kinds of things that are like that. I'm like, what is up with that? There, maybe I'll remember. I had like three of them. I was just thinking all at once. I was like, wow. Yeah, if it was a demolisher. Or, yeah, he did say destroyer. I go, no, I don't like that one. You know, didn't like any of them. We were talking about how we would be if we had a bobcat. I said, if we had a bobcat, you wouldn't be the only one driving it. I love those things. They're so fun, you know. I've only driven one once, but it was fun. But I drove a Minneapolis Moline that had like the hand clutch, and you have to be an octopus to drive one of those. You really do. A normal person would not be able to figure it out, most likely. You know, so that was interesting to learn how to do that. You know, and the throttle was also hand, and the gears were also hand. So everything, there was like an emergency brake with a foot pedal, but you really didn't even need it because I had a buck wagon on the back of it. So I just put it in gear and I'd feed cattle. And by the time I got to the end of the valley, and I'd turn it around and go back and feed some more off, and I'd be done. And I just fed like 400 head of cattle in this one valley. That was one of my favorite jobs. Yeah, for a while. Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty. That was in Circle, Montana, outside of this town. Yeah, luckily they had a hospital because well, I ended up there after my first, when was in this car accident and pulled my spinal cord and wasn't supposed to walk. They took me to this place called Point, Wolf Point, Montana. So I went to that hospital first, and nothing was broken. The next day I couldn't walk. And I knew I was sore. I had no doubt. Even my dog flew out the window, and he ended up in a fire department. I had a beautiful Irish setter. So Dandy was okay. I went and got my dog, went home. Next day I couldn't walk. So my friends took me into the hospital, carried me in, and they told me I would never walk again. So I got a motel room, and I, for a few days, kind of laid there. I was so embarrassed. I had ordered a pizza and had the guy bring it in and set it on my bed. And then after that, I was flipping humiliated because I had to get down on the floor and pull myself to the bathroom and pull myself onto the toilet. So you really don't want to eat and drink when you're in that type of situation. Um, that was a rough one. But then after a day or so, I got a chair by my bed and started kind of just standing up. and my spine had just like quiver, quiver, quiver. And I kept doing that. After 2 weeks, I was taking steps, you know, and I'd use the chair to go get into the bathroom. I was able to even like sit. I made a mistake of getting down in the tub, but then after that, I would stand in the shower and be able to clean off pretty good. And then I started feeling better and I was able to walk. I mean, just sheer determination. I was lucky I had friends that would come and visit me, and degenerate ex that stayed out on the ranch, but um would visit. It wasn't far away, and I didn't care anyway at that point. So that didn't take long, believe me. Broken bones will do that, But yeah, anyway, long story short, I started walking and I was dancing again with my friends shortly after that. So just the sheer determination of and God in my heart. That's what I was telling Jeremy too today. We heal from the inside out with the spirit of God in us, and he used to, when I talk about God, he would look down and he was all ears. I just said hi to him out through the window. I was sweeping my floors, so yeah. It was hot. It was 85 degrees here, and it was only supposed to be about 70 something. It was supposed to be cool for the foreseeable week, but I was thinking different anyway. So uh, I guess I thought different than what they predicted. I shared a very interesting video that MBB, Mr. MBB 333 shared yesterday. I'll put a link to it here. I was telling you about that cloud that came through that was so unnatural on the third, or not the third, maybe it was the third, um, the day we had the wind a few days ago. Um, so it was a weird cloud that was dark. It didn't look natural. It looked even funkier than a smoke cloud, those type. So, he shared this thing that went over slowly. It was a UFO, like Bruce Seasall catches, and Peter Benton catches them, and other people have caught these orbs. Only this was probably 50 to 200 feet, and it was like a sphere, or it appeared to be kind of round, and they caught it from the ground and they caught it from the International Space Station too. And it moved slower than these other orbs. It moved across Minnesota up to the point of the northern point, going like where we live. And it moved really, really slow, just destructing stuff along the way. And weird as hell, they got it on. And so, whatever that huge thing was, whether it was man made or alien or maybe it's the original owner of the planet and it's a dragon, and it just was gliding across Minnesota and flapped its wings over my house like, don't forget, you always have to be good because next time I'm breathing fire. I'm like, yeah, I hear you, dude. you know? But anyway, they literally caught whatever it was, and we both saw it and experienced it. Whatever it was, they caught it on recorded it. So I was gonna say on camera, but or whatever, the equipment. So that's pretty interesting. Not a doubt in my mind, that's what caused such a ruckus with the wind and the destruction and the rain, everything, whatever it was, whether it be a part of a man made situation That's yet to be determined, but whatever it was, that's what it was that was messing with my skies. So, yeah, pretty interesting, isn't it? I'm going to put a link so you can see that if you haven't already. Yeah. Another really interesting one was about 8 hours ago. Awaken with JP had a really good one with President Biden stating how he feels about gay marriage, that there shouldn't have been any change in our Constitution because in each state the union between a man and woman is considered marriage, you know. And something else that he said was, he's a weird dude, lying piece of shit. These people will say or do anything just to get their way and have a position of power. And then Trudeau trying to ban all handguns in his. It's just like, you know, his country, their country, not his. He's a freak. He's one of them freakazoids. They don't belong anywhere. But yeah, what a weirdo. But yeah, he's got armed guards around him. Yeah, and the military still has weapons, but the people, what? They can be qualified gun owners, have a license, learn how to shoot, assemble and disassemble a weapon and clean it and everything else. Doesn't mean just like him, it doesn't mean his bodyguards are going to have to kill anybody, right? But he'd sure want some protection if somebody were after him. Well, there's a Native American, happens to be one of the bloodlines that I carry, Lakota, um, Sioux, and I have Powhatan, which are both Algonquin tribes that used to travel up and down the eastern seaboard up into Canada, way down into Florida, and back and forth across the states, mostly on the upper part. But anyway, a Yellowstone Lakota named Moses is running for president. He's also an actor, but so was Ronald Reagan, you know. So aren't they all actors? But it's just funny that I've been screaming about it for, well, I figure if everybody's so proud to be a freakazoid on this planet and are celebrating what they're proud of, it's like I'm proud for the people that, although they tried to kill them all, still rose above all that as business people and communities thriving, even on some of the worst land, um, which isn't right at all. Not at all. Um, that's, you know, and that's another story. Some of the most sacred places for and most beautiful that the people of their own country should be able to manage and live by. And that to me is another injustice, but that's for another day. But so I wish this man, not just because of his bloodline, but because of the need for a different type of system to be put in place, you know. And there is a need for a big corporation to get the heck away from normal people. And people are not like factory workers, slaves. You were not meant to be like that at all, you know. And there are ways that, with free energy, that would free up everybody and everything, and the food supply would be enormous, and nobody would have any problems. And this whole world, and money's fake anyway, they could just print it up and help everybody and pay everybody more, and you know, and it is true, very true. They could tap energy right out of the earth, like Tesla wanted to do, but they won't do it. So, my cat said, "Oh no," or "Oh yeah." Yeah, it sounded more like a yeah. Yeah. Okay, you stay down there. You've been pretty good. She's in heat, so she's having problems. And being that she's a pharaoh and there's so many and she got all busted up, I'm not gonna have her fixed like I did my last one and Doug's cat is, and so at least she's not gonna get pregnant by him. So but I did tell her, and I'm serious, if she wants to go out, she'll be staying out there, and next time she gets busted up, she'd probably die. So I don't know what got her, but something very big. She was broken in several fractures in one limb, and her shoulder was dislocated, broke, and flopped back with her bones sticking out, and her bones sticking out here and here, and it was and flopping. It was just, and it would flop like this. It was. I had to tape it up, and she was scared and wild, and it was freaky for both of us. So now she's my best friend, as far as furry friends go. you know, I have some pretty good friends out here. I'm fortunate, you know. And then pretty much too, I'm talking just like we'd be sitting and having a cup of coffee together, because I think some people just need a voice of reason in this world, when the reason really is not only God in our heart, but family and what's really natural for people. And that's where my heart lies and my passion is. It's like trying to be a voice of reason in a really twisted world. Let's untwist this bitch. It's so sad. It is. So, yeah. I saw something that was really cool that said, like, how do you know if the man you're married, or and this can be for women too, uh, is the one? And the first thing on that list was like, if he loves God, maybe if he loves God even more than he loves you. So I could say that about myself too. And I've said that to Doug, and I'm like, well, what do you expect? Me to love you more than I love the person that loves me most and made me? It just it doesn't sit right with me. I don't work like that. I can't do that. So if they feel the same way about God, and if you're messing up and you're going to step in, and or your spouse steps in, or your significant other, or hopefully you can call them your better half, steps in and said, like, maybe do something like this, and that's truly a gift from God, then yeah, they're sent. If they're benefiting you and actually um putting a word from God the way He made the woman, uh, to help like that. That's then or man, if you have a man that's literally going to say, like, you know what I mean. Lead with grace. If a woman can be the grace in her household, and a man can lead with the grace of God, and they both have that in their mind, you just can't go wrong. You know, so that's what I heard basically. I put a little more on there, but basically, yeah. it was said like if they love you more than they love God. And yes, that's pretty blunt, but it is true. Now, if they use it for an excuse and there's some type of fruitcake and they're cramming scripture down your throat 24/7 or some whacked out thing like that, like losing touch with reality. Like, well, I think you know what I mean. Sometimes there's a time to quote a scripture, and sometimes there's a time just to talk to people with your own voice. And there's all kinds of scriptures and all kinds of interpretations being out there and around when the word of God is written on everybody's heart, period. No matter who you are. How much we see or hear of what's written in there, I think is our drive and our desire to want to learn that or know that and to be honest with ourselves and God every step of the way like that. You know, if we're not doing what He's telling us to do, then, something's going to happen to make you realize that you're not going in the right direction. It's just like a parent putting up a baby fence. You can't let them run out in the road just because they want to run out in the road. It's as simple as that, so yeah. So anyway, yeah, husband and wife should kind of be each other's baby fence, keeping each other safe in that respect if they were to see, or their reminder to uh, if they really don't have God in their heart, you can't put it there. And 9 times out of 10, if not more, I haven't ever seen really anybody, even if they say they're born again, be born again. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying I don't think it quite happens like they say it does. This is more of a death. If you truly believe you're resurrected, that's born again. You're born into this system that's satanic, and he's not going to be loose for 1,000. He has been loose. His time is almost done. It's not coming together with this stuff. It's this stuff either submitting to the will of God or perishing out of other people's area. And you'll see what I'm saying is true. Things look all twisted right now. But just when they think everything's okey doke, it's not going to be okey doke for them. And we all know the end of the story. So let them play all they want. It's just not going to work. But I'm really not. Now I've seen where they have the rainbow flag and the Ukraine flag together. And Ukraine doesn't even allow gay marriage. So that should just kind of give you a hint of what the weird things are going on in the world. Like the Jubilee over in England and the strands of DNA going up to the tree of life from the world with a crown around it. Purple rain, trying to, satanic bloodline, trying to keep the blood of Christ down from rising fully to its awakeness. That's witchcraft with her white gloves. The white gloves is like sorcery magicians. I know you think it's just out of daintiness or whatever, or like we go to dinner and we have gloves up to our elbows or out to a dance. No, there's a whole nother meaning to all these things, and the colors indicate a lot. She had Parisian blue on, and a blood red rug behind her. The lights were purple, and then they all turned white, and it's like in the strands of mixed DNA, all the symbols. And you would think, oh, a sweet little old lady, she's a lizard. You really got to know who you're serving, if you're paying homage to your idols or the God within your heart, whatever country you're in. We have to face the facts that a normal person doesn't seek leadership. Not like that. Not in the ways they're doing it. Things would be moving and shaking in that White House if there was even a handful of people that wanted to get things done, like opening up the pipeline so the truckers would be able to move around and things would be cheaper for us again. But they're not going to do that because they want to try and force us into their ways, and that is the bottom line, you know. And these are not made up fairy tales that these people are like have been called names that are theorizing on anything. These are things that I was warned about from Jesuits, from Masons that raised me. Some my actual bloodline, you know. And I was taught about these things to help people, and this is not a joke. This is truly spell casting on the whole world, right in front of millions of people. They do it in every country that they invade, and that's their parasites. So I don't like it any better than you do, you know, no matter where you're at, you know. I want to be able to honor the people that are saying they are helping other people, but I have never seen it, you know. Let's go listen. I'm gonna well go listen to Awaken with JP. I am gonna put that video for what was seen over Minnesota with that destruction, but and affiliate the title of this video like that somehow, I think. But okay, everybody, I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and thank you for joining me. And if you give me a thumbs up, thank you to my new subscribers for being here. It'll be a pleasure to get to know you. Peace, everybody. I love y'all.